Well, welcome back into the Five Nations. 5 minutes at the Five Nations. The guy that's been here for 5 teams, 5 days, 10 games, Ken Landeau is with me, the voice of Tiger hockey. Ken, how are you, first of all?
Well, Scott, I think I'm holding out. I'm holding on. It's been a marathon, but here we are just before the U.S. Czechia game, the final game of the tournament, and I'm doing great. It's been a great event.
Okay, so the U.S. name's no problem. Everybody else's name's a little bit of a challenge?
A big challenge. But, you do the best you can. It can be tough, but, all you can do is what you can do, right? It's not like at the Division I college level where you've got media people there to help you with pronunciations or background information. So you just kind of, do the best you can and just roll with it.
What's your assessment of the talent you've seen this week? Like I said, you've seen all 5 teams. You've seen every game, every minute of every game. What's your assessment?
Well, I think the talent is better than I thought it would be across the board.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect coming in. I've never really watched this level before. The U.S. team is really talented. Like the 20 guys that have dressed for Team USA, they'll be playing in college hockey in 2-3 years. Some of these guys are going to be NHL stars one day. So that's really impressive. But I think on each of the other 4 teams, there have been players that, could easily play over here in the U.S., play college hockey here in the USA.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. One thing I noticed with Team USA was from the first shift of the first game, I thought they played like a unit, and that's usually hard to do when a quote-unquote all-star team.
Oh, no question. And they haven't had a whole lot of time to prepare for this. But, I think the message has been accepted among all of these kids that, hey, you guys are a team. You're playing for the letters on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey.
Yeah.
And it kind of lets you know the character of these kids.
Right.
That they're willing to sacrifice something here, something there for the betterment of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get into Colorado Springs and Ed Robeson Arena and the job that they've done to put this thing together. This building was built about a year ago, right? You've been in it for a year. What does it say about the community here in Ed Robeson Arena, everybody running it, to be able to put something like this together quickly?
Well, Scott, I think what it says is that there's a great team here.
Yeah.
And with USA Hockey based right here in Colorado Springs, I would like to see USA Hockey bring more events like this into this building. It's the right size building. They can handle an event like this. It's a great showcase, I think, for teams coming in from other countries. What better place is there in the United States to come to for an international event than right here in Colorado Springs? I know talking to people from the other 4 countries involved, they've just had a great time. And, for 16-year-old young men, they're learning about the United States. They're getting a chance to see something that most of their friends back home will never see. I would really like to see more events like this that are affiliated with USA Hockey brought into this building.
As we sit here now in August, we're not far away from the start of the NCAA season, but right now there's a couple of Tigers and a Tiger coach up in Edmonton, Alberta, Red Deer, Alberta, that are performing pretty darn well at the World Juniors. Any surprise to you on that?
No surprise at all. I think Hunter McCown was one of the last guys to make the team, but I can tell you that he worked his backside off all summer to prepare to prepare for the opportunity to make the team. He was kind of he's the only guy I think that no longer has draft eligibility on that team that is not drafted.
Right.
So he's making some scouts look pretty silly right now. So he's really determined, and Caden Mberico is, he's a great goalie. He's going to be one of the stars in the National Collegiate Hockey Conference for years to come.
Yeah, totally agree. And, of course, Coach Mayot's an old hand at this thing. He's been there before and doing a great job again.
Oh, no question. No question. As part of Nate Lehman's staff up there, they know what they're doing. They've been through this before. They know how to put a team together in a short period of time. And I talked to Chris just the other day, and he said, hey, it's kind of nice to have the assistant coach's hat on where he can be friends with everybody. He's everyone's friend now, right. As opposed to being, having to be the bad cop, which is oftentimes the head coach's job.
Totally get that one. Okay, we're going to end it on a couple of fun notes. Think if you can, over the last 5 days, what's the craziest name you've had to call, and what would you say it was that happened that made you maybe call it a goal, a crazy assist, whatever it is? I'll give you a minute to think about it while I ask you the second one. The second one is give us some insight into Ed Robeson Arena as far as what makes this place special after you've been here a year now.
All right, toughest name. That's a good one. That's Eben Streit, goaltender for Germany. Right. Kubiesa, a forward for the Czech Republic. Those have been tough names. Vasilevsky has been tough for me to spit out. But over 5 days you get used to it. Right. And then in terms of Ed Robeson Arena, there's no finer building in all of college hockey than this right here. There are buildings that are as nice as this, that are as good as this, but I don't think there's a better building for the sport than this one right here.
I'll tell you what Chris Mayott told me. We'll end it on this. He said, I love Ed Robeson Arena. It's beautiful. But he said, you know what? Next year we're not going to be the newest building in college hockey anymore. And that's going to continue just because of the growth, right?
Oh, sure. And, what you're finding is, even at bigger schools, they're downsizing. They are reducing this. I know Ohio State talks a lot about building a new building. They'll never do it, right? Because hockey's like 8th on the, totem pole there. But you look at a school like Arizona State with 75,000 students. I think it's over 100,000 students down there. But they build a small building, and for good reason, because you want to make sure every seat is filled. Right. And, big buildings like the Kohl Center in Madison, empty most of the time. Mariucci Arena in Minnesota, they have to give away tickets. Munn Arena in East Lansing, they have to give tickets away. The Conti Forum at BC, they don't come close to selling out anymore. Smaller is better. Better to have 3,700 seats and have people on a waiting list than have 7,300 seats and half of them are empty.
Absolutely. Ken Landeau, thanks for spending some time with me today. 5 Nations and 5 minutes in the 5 Nations.
All right, Scott, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All righty.
Appreciate it.